Hey guys, this is Austin Evarts. I'm here in the Bahamas with Damien Forsythe and Chad Bowe, co-founders of the Bahamas Internet Association. We're sitting here on the water. It's a little windy. Sorry if you hear any feedback. Anyway, I'm here with these guys. We came here to give a speech to their association about working online and the benefits of using the internet. And what I want to ask you guys is, what was the motivation behind building the Bahamas Internet Association? What was your motivation behind building it? What types of benefits do you see it offering the community here and the impact even beyond the Bahamas?
Sure. Well, I'll start with myself. As a Bahamian citizen, being born and raised here in Nassau, Bahamas, and going abroad for school and different things, but now back in the Bahamas permanently and wanting to add some value to the Bahamian community. I work at a Bahamian internet startup. And when I came back from school and traveling, I realized that there was no place in the Bahamas where you can actually go and say, who's actually the leader in the internet field? Who is the leader in the e-commerce field? Where do they meet? Who is the president of the association? Is there a union? There was nothing like that. And it took me a while to filter my way through the community to find out really who was who. And I was a Bahamian born and raised in the country, so I knew the landscape and the personalities. Someone coming from outside the country doesn't know that. So it's really a place for people to meet, congregate. I'm very interested in internet entrepreneurism, so I want to meet people on that platform. And I find it a lot easier to build friendships around a certain structure. And that structure is wanting to build a life on the web, wanting to travel, want to do some business, want to live a great, interesting, balanced life, and to meet some other interesting people really along the way. And Chad's been great helping me grow it.
Damien contacted me, and my company, Paradigm Business Solutions, is largely based on web development, and so it was kind of a good fit. And I saw the energy that Damien was bringing to this thing, this idea at the time. And I thought it was a great idea, and I wanted to go with him. And so far, it's been pretty successful, and we're, hoping that it'll continue to be so.
And in the association, we have different points. One is education, training, networking, industry advocacy. And again, if government's making a policy or a law that affects the industry, up until this point, there was nobody to consult with. They just made the law, and it was done. And the industry was small and scattered. Now there's at least some type of cohesion through the Bahamas Internet Association. We're in the press. We did the radio interviews yesterday, which people can probably listen to online. We just did this presentation, and we've done presentations before this. The Bahamian Google executive. We had an event towards the end of last year, and they've all had press around them and online. And you search Bahamas Internet Association, you'll find most of them. And also, there's obviously a personal interest in it. As I meet people like Chad, we hadn't met before, even though we grew up on the same island, basically the same age, in the same neighborhood. But when you go abroad to school and you get traveling, you really can get disconnected. So to meet people who are interesting, doing great stuff for private, for-profit ventures.
Yeah, I've had issues myself trying to network within entrepreneurs who are interested in the internet or want to work online. Even when I was living in San Francisco, it wasn't always easy to find a great meetup or good, like-minded people. If there's somebody out there who wants to start their own network of people with like-minded interests, especially if it's about the internet, do you have any recommendations for starting it up?
For me, you got to be passionate. Period. When I started by myself, and Chad came on very quickly, but I put in an enormous amount of energy. And that first luncheon was calling people, emailing them personally, begging them to come. There was no online payment system at that time as we have today, so you didn't know who was going to come. You had to book the venue. You had to put out a certain amount of money to book a venue and to hope people came to get your money back. Yeah. And sometimes we don't get our money back, but it's all part of the process. So you got to have a high level of passion, a high level of energy, and as quickly as possible connect with someone, at least one person, to do it with you, because solo can only last so long. You lose your energy. There's no synergy, and it's we've spoken about this before. It's simple but not easy. It's simple. Just get the energy and build it. And use things like meetup.com, follow different blogs, So depending on which city you're in the Bahamas there was no blog or no meetup site. So we basically created that for the internet space.
I would say too, two things. You have to have some sort of focus. You don't try to be everything to everyone. The second thing is that establish a core group as soon as you can. You know, core membership. If you just never really get to that point where you have that group is set aside maybe from your overall or your general distribution list that you call members, you know, it's going to be hard to keep things together, and as Damien said, to keep that energy going. So yeah, just have a focus. Don't be the be all and end all for every situation. That's pretty much that's the way to go.
What about reaching out to local forms of media? Like you said yesterday, we were on the radio. It was a great radio program that seemed like it reached a lot of people. Even newspapers. They're going to run an article about this presentation. What's the first step into getting people to notice it, especially traditional forms of media such as radio or newspaper?
Well, you got to do something interesting that's newsworthy. That's the basic fundamental. Besides that, I had certain relationships with them already, but even if I didn't, I read up on how to write a press release. And the press releases that go in the newspaper were written by me, because you know the news media is going to pick up on the easy story. And if you write something that they only have to edit 10 words out of 1,000, they're going to run it because they're looking for content. And if you have interesting message, the press release is done, there's a glossy, high-res photo that can go with it, you have the website to match, and you're contacting the radio personalities, the TV personalities. You know, there was a reporter at our luncheon here just an hour ago. I personally invited him. So you just got to put in the work. I mean, it's corny, but you know, a lot of internet marketers out there downplay the work that's involved. You know, put up a website 5 minutes and you're selling. You know, that's kind of garbage. Generally, I don't see it working that way. You can make money fast, and who wouldn't want to make money fast? But usually don't work like that. And we've been at this association since the end of 2009, and we're now in June of 2010. Not to put a date on our video, but I just did. And it takes time, and it's growing.
I can edit that out.
You can edit that out. Yeah. There you go. So this is timeless. This video is going to last forever. Always be current. But corny, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of passion, and an end goal. And the end goal is to meet interesting people, to do business on the web, to make a living, a very good living. It's about money too, let's be honest. And also it's about living an interesting life. And I think the internet can do that. And not to talk too long, but again, like you said, back home, if you wanted to meet someone to network with, it's kind of awkward sending someone an email. Hey, let's go for a drink. Yes. Why? Who are you? I don't know you. This Internet Association provides a purpose. And we have an email list that's small, but it's targeted. We send out valuable emails about once a week. And you build up this relationship organically over time. Even Chad and I mean, if you add up the amount of time we've been communicating, working by email and phone and in person, I would want to say it's 1,000 hours. Let's just throw that number out there. That's a lot of time. And from that, we've now built an organic friendship and an organic business relationship and a partnership with the Internet Association. So if we didn't have that purpose and that thing to build around, we would have, you know, you can only go for dinner so much. You can only go for drinks so much. And this provides a certain purpose of a rallying cry for people to get around.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys very much, and thank you very much for having me. I've had a great time here in the Bahamas.
It's not over yet.
Not over yet.
We're taking it to the beach in a minute. So just trying to finish this out quickly.
Can't wait. For myself, Austin Evarts, Chad and Damien, co-founders of the Bahamas Internet Association. We'll see you soon.
Bye.